what sparked you to start making content?
But basically, watched a documentary called The Minimalist, which was those two guys, Josh and someone else. I was like, wait, this just like really makes sense to me. And I was like looking around my apartment and I was like, I have a lot of stuff and it never felt like, it always felt like I had to keep collecting to be the cool person. And I started talking about it. And I sort of found these communities online and people were talking about it as well. And people spoke back to me about slow fashion. They're like, well, have you heard of this person doing cool things? I'm like, no, I follow them. But yeah, so when I first started, I was working in fast fashion. So I was working at Cotton On. And I was just thought, like, it'd be fun to be a stylist. So I did a bit of research and I was like, if I've got the opportunity to do it now, why don't I try? I quite enjoy getting that sort of picture in my head and creating the outfits and working with a photographer and a makeup artist and a hairstylist and finding the location and creating that look. My view of the secondhand industry is like I work in a consignment style store at the moment. So if you're bringing in clothing and we like it, we pop a price on it and make you an offer of cash or store credit. I want everyone to buy secondhand as much as they possibly can because we have so much out there and it keeps being produced. But I do think there's no way you can capture every single every single piece of clothing that's made in the world. Like you can't capture in the secondhand model because the person uses it and they might throw it out or they don't know where to dispose of it, so they just throw it out, or they dump it outside a op shop and then it gets thrown into the bin, or they break it and it goes to the bin. Like keeping things in a circular motion is actually quite hard if you aren't informed of where things to go, or there's not facilities in your area, or you just can't access those facilities for whatever reason. I also host clothing swaps around Victoria. We are known as the Clothing Exchange. So we partner with our local councils and we will hold a clothing swap for them, which are very, very popular. You can do a clothing swap in your own family, in your own friendship group, in your own city, whatever. We have a little look at them to make sure they're okay and there's no, mega stains or rips or tears. And then we give you 8 tokens. And then we set up the shop for you, make it all pretty so it feels like you're shopping in a nice boutique. And then once our shopping session starts, then you can go and use those 8 tokens to buy some new pieces. I still think there's the perception that secondhand clothing is gross. I've had many people walk into the shop I work at and they're looking around and they're looking at their tags and then they ask me like, is this secondhand? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, ew, and they walk out. And also I just think like some people think that like when they take their clothing to the op shop that magical fairies will fix all the stains and the rips and the missing buttons. So when you take your bag of clothing to the op shop and there's a few things in there that are ripped or torn, that goes straight in the bin. A smaller shop has time to care and look after it. But bigger shops just don't sometimes. So I think overconsumption, thinking that the magical fairy is going to fix everything behind the scenes, and of course, op shops being gross and full of dead people clothes. So I think minimalism is really taking a step back and thinking, okay, do I actually need this? And also, I think, again, it ties back to sustainability because you're actually like, do I actually know where that comes from? And what will I do with it when I'm finished with it? So if I only allow the things that I want and I need and I love in my house, then it's a place of calm.
The one tip that you want to give to me that I should use to be more sustainable and be more ethical or have a slow wardrobe in my that I could use for my daily use every day.
So I think I think the first one is step back. Like, if you see something in the wherever, take a step back. Like, okay, what is the item? So if you see this great white t-shirt, but then you notice you're shopping at Zara, like, where did that white t-shirt come from to get there? Like if you buy the one white top from Zara and you wear it 50 years down the track or however long it lasts, and you care for it and you mend it and you let it go, to textile recycling, or you use it as rag when it's finished. If you love that garment through its entire life cycle, then buy another one. I think that's okay. It doesn't really matter where you shop because I can't dictate where people shop because, it's expensive nowadays. And I know it's such a small thing that, not buying something is such a small thing, but it has a huge impact on, one, our wallet, 2, our house or the area we live in, but 3, it has a huge impact on the planet as well. Take a little peek behind the curtain, see how your things really get to you, understand that process, understand how the fabric is grown, how the apples are grown, how they get to you, and then what happens when they leave your house. So I think just planting that little seed with people is what I want to do. and then they can find their niche from that. But you can find me on Instagram as Ironic Minimalist. I also have a website under the same name, and I sometimes do a little bit of writing on my Substack, which is linked in the bio of my Instagram.